All right, here we go. Hello. Thank you for joining our call today. We are going to talk through sleep, which is so important and usually overlooked. Griffin wrote the Coach's Corner email on sleep optimization, and the timing was so good with it being getting out of daylight savings into daylight standard time now, right? We're in standard time now. I can never remember, but we switched times in the US. And it's the worst thing ever to have to just adjust to a different hour of waking up and going to bed and all of that. And it's so annoying that we still do that to ourselves in the US, but, or I guess everywhere, kind of just different schedules. I know Henrietta is in Norway. And when do you switch next week?
We switch, no, in 2 weeks.
Okay, so
Yeah,
yes, I will be
last
happy the
weekend in
day
March.
we get rid of it. But in the meantime, I think it's just an opportunity for us to continue to like refine our own sleep consistency and our just optimize our sleep because it is so important. So we're going to talk about that today. Griffin had a conflict, and so we're doing her call, and we love talking about sleep though. So she will probably do a better job. But we are excited, and hopefully we can do a good enough job with what she had envisioned, with what she wanted to discuss today. But um, I think daylight savings, as we have learned in recent years, the more we know about sleep, right, the more we know that it does affects us from a health standpoint. And there, you can see trends too of people's just health being impacted. There's a lot more health issues around the time changes because that abrupt shift in time can disrupt our internal clocks, which our internal clock is known as our circadian rhythm, which I'm sure you have heard. And that's essentially what it is just our sleep wake schedule. And our circadian rhythm really impacts so many body functions that we have. And so disrupting it can cause obviously sleep disturbances, as well as um, that can impact our cognitive function, that can impact our alertness, that can impact there's an increased risk for like accidents and injuries during this time of year. And then also some negative implications for our cardiovascular health, showing like increase in heart attacks and strokes and other cardiovascular events. And so, but I would say on a lesser note, things that we have experienced probably you can relate to if you maybe daylight savings or just poor sleep in general is having increase in irritability, mood swings, maybe symptoms of depression following a time change or just sleep disruption. And that can take several weeks for us to adjust to. So if you're feeling like you're just not feeling like yourself right now, that could definitely be the time change and just letting your body adapt and get used to a new sleep wake cycle. And so, just talking a little bit about circadian rhythm and and how that benefits us, just diving into like why sleep is essential for our health. So I'm going to talk through a few things and I have some notes here so I don't miss anything. But physical restoration would be a huge one. During sleep, our body repairs tissues, muscles, cells, and helps in the healing process and allows our body to recover from the day's activity. So, getting enough sleep promotes better physical health and enhances our immune function, helping our body fight off infections and diseases. And I think with that physical restoration, that is why sleep is so crucial for if you want to build muscle or you want to achieve aesthetic goals. If you're not getting enough sleep, it's going to make it really, really challenging to do. And especially if you want to build muscle, because you have to have that sleep for your body to repair and grow. You're kind of like there's anabolic state where your body's able to build and grow, and there's catabolic state where it's just breaking down. And if you don't get enough sleep, you're just going to be constantly in that catabolic state, and we want you to be in that anabolic state. So really getting enough rest, recovery, and sleep is like number one if you want to build muscle or lose body fat, because if you're not getting that healing and repair, then you're going to be constantly, you're just going to be under more stress, and it's going to make it a lot more challenging to add the stress of a calorie deficit. And kind of leading into that cognitive function, sleep is essential for optimal brain function, and it plays a really important role in memory consolidation, learning, problem solving, decision making, and concentration. So getting enough sleep ensures that cognitive processes are operating efficiently and promoting mental clarity and productivity. I know when I don't get enough sleep, like my productivity, I am trying to do the same tasks, but I'm doing them more slowly. I'm like spacing out more. I feel like I need more just, I just end up getting distracted more easily, and overwhelmed more easily. And so cognitive function, we've all, well, we haven't all, but I would say a lot of us are moms that have had babies, and like looking back, I'm out of the baby stage, but like when I think back on that time where my sleep was impacted, my cognitive function was so much lower. Like I would be forgetting things. Sometimes, you would think like very common things. Like I remember sometimes waking up and thinking, like trying to find the kid in the bed, and we didn't even co-sleep. So I was like panicked that we lost the kid in the bed and we didn't have any kids sleeping with us. Like it's just crazy what your brain can do when it's lacking sleep and not able to detox and repair. And so that plays into emotional well-being. Sleep is very closely linked to emotional regulation and mood stability. So chronic sleep deprivation is going to really impact our mood, and there is an increased risk of mood disorders, depression, anxiety when we're not getting enough sleep. And I think that's a no-brainer. But getting enough sleep helps us to regulate our emotions, reduce our stress levels, and then promote overall well-being. So I think sometimes when I'm just very cranky and I have to think about, okay, what is my sleep consistency like right now? Where am I at? What are hormones doing and what is sleep doing? That's usually, I can correlate my mood to one or both of those things. And then our metabolic health. So sleep plays a really significant role in regulating hormones and controlling appetite. Our leptin and ghrelin, hunger hormones, are going to be directly correlated to our sleep. So if you want to optimize aesthetically, and feel satiated throughout the day, then getting more sleep is going to help you with that. If you are low on sleep, then those are going to be impacted, and you are going to have more cravings and be more hungry. And it's going to be a lot harder to be consistent with food intake, like optimal food intake for you, especially if you're in a calorie deficit. It will also impact our metabolism, from our like thyroid hormones to glucose processing. And chronic sleep deprivation can disrupt hormonal balances, which can lead to weight gain, insulin resistance, and an increase for, if that continues, type 2 diabetes. And so sleep is so important. A couple other things: heart health. Adequate sleep is obviously essential for maintaining cardiovascular health, and lack of sleep can be linked to higher inflammation, higher blood pressure. So getting good sleep helps with both of those things, help heart function, blood pressure. And then obviously immune system. Getting during sleep, our body produces and releases cytokines, which are proteins that help regulate our immune response to infections and inflammation. So those are going to help us stay healthy. But then also with inflammation, like when we're working out and we're training hard, if we don't get sleep, we do have higher inflammation. And so those cytokines are going to be very critical for that too. Um, and and then longevity. Research suggests that individuals who consistently get enough sleep tend to live longer, healthier lives compared to those who are chronically sleep deprived. Quality sleep is associated with lower risk of chronic diseases and overall mortality. So, sleep is very important. I think our generation, like I just feel like millennials are just sometimes think that we're superheroes and we can just run on no sleep. And I think that's promoted a lot too in our society of just do more, work more, you don't need to rest, like be better than everyone else and get up early and attack the day. And I think sometimes that's that's great. Like I think waking up early can be so beneficial, and but I think that there are different seasons in life where that is going to be good for us and where that could be hurtful for us. If you're not able to get to bed early, then getting up really early is, there's, a lot of reasons not to do that. And it might not be worth getting up at 4 a.m. to go get a workout in. It might not be worth that. Or maybe you're in a season of life where your body can handle that and you're still getting 7 hours of sleep and you can get that workout in early, and that's the time that you need to do it. Um, but I think we don't know, we all have different levels of stress in our lives, from, perceived stress to workout stress to stress from our just interactions or our work, or and then also we all handle that stress differently. So I might have like the same stress as Casey. We maybe have the same number of kids, like the same work stress, but maybe it's way harder for me, right? I can't, like, my perceived stress is much higher. And so like just remembering, trying not to compare yourself to other people. If you see other people waking up early or maybe functioning on 6 hours of sleep and you need 8, um, that's okay. Like we all just need to tune into what's optimal for us. I've been wearing this Whoop for since December. And I think Henrietta has one also. And I think Casey maybe was looking into the Aura ring. So stay tuned for like,
It's being shipped
oh
soon.
yes.
Yeah.
So stay tuned. We'll be reviewing them soon. But it has been cool to see on the Whoop. It will assess my strain throughout the day. And obviously it's not perfect, right? But it will assess my strain, and it'll assess my recovery based off my heart rate variability and some different metrics. And it is interesting to see my daily strain. And sometimes my daily strain is really high and I'm not super physically active. And I think that's been really, really cool for me to see that if I have like an emotionally stressful day, maybe with my kids, or work, it picks up on that, like, and it plays that into my whole strain for the day. And I think it's easy. I have a very low perceived stress, which sometimes can hurt me because I think, oh, today wasn't very busy or it wasn't very stressful, and then I'll look at my strain and I'm like, oh, apparently I had a lot of mental stress today that I wasn't aware of. And so it's been helpful for me to see, oh, I actually do need more rest, even though maybe my day physically wasn't very challenging. It was challenging mentally. And so that's helped me to just better kind of have a beat on overall stressors, and and then try to be better with my sleep because of it. The Whoop will kind of tell me like, you need 8 hours tonight based off of today's strain if you want to recover tomorrow. And it's not perfect. I don't like base my life off of it, but it's really good insight and it's pretty accurate. It usually confirms kind of how I'm feeling. And so I think
I'm
just
thinking,
reminding yourself, yeah, we need to recover and restore. And that's a part of life. That's a part of being human.
I feel that a lot of, I see that in maybe not a lot of clients, but definitely see it like, clients where I see that now and then, where they are not, they tell me that they're not stressed, but then they also share how their life looks or
Yeah.
like how their week has been. And I'm like, oh, I think your body is more stressed than you feel. So it's so important as well then to, yeah, kind of listen to your body and listen within and see the signs that your body is giving you, because a lot of us are able to deal with a lot of stress,
Yeah.
and a lot of us are not. Like, it's just we're all different. So definitely listening to the signs that your body is giving you and truly like listen to that. And that could be, I have a body that doesn't respond, like I'm doing everything right, but my body's not responding in giving me the physique change that I'm seeking. That can be really okay. I would say then in most cases, clearly there are stressors going on here that's kind of holding us back. And that could be hormonal things. It could be just like trauma stressors. It could be so many different things, but then it's about like really digging into what you can't see, or maybe you can see it on blood work, for example, but definitely like taking that extra or next step into figuring out what it is, because if you're feeling like you're doing everything right and your body isn't responding, and you have given yourself time with, being consistent and being patient, and still nothing is happening, then that's when I would really like dig a little deeper for sure.
Yeah, I think sleep and stress are just very
Mm.
closely aligned, right? And they kind
Yeah.
of go like you can't really talk about one without talking about the other, I think sometimes. And we know we have to charge our phones every day, right? Or they won't work. So we're the same way. And I think I saw an exercise one time of just writing that down, like take a paper, split it in half and write drain and charge and fill it out. Like, what are all the things that drain you in your day, in your week? Write them down. And what are the things that you're doing to charge, like recharge, right? Sleep would be one, rest would be one, maybe connection with friends would be one, maybe taking time for yourself would be one. Exercise can also be a drain, though, depending, right? So putting those down, and putting your drains down and just seeing like, is it pretty even? I'm going to say for most of us, it's not going to be very even, right? We're probably going to have way more on the drain side than the charge side. And just assessing that, like, can I maybe eliminate, automate, or delegate like some of the things that are on that drain side so I can free up some mental space or some physical capacity and feel better, like just lower that stress load. Or can I add some things, maybe a combination of both to the charge side? Can I add in 5 minutes of breath work as before I have my caffeine every morning? Can I take 5 minutes and like do a cool down and just tune into my body post workout? What are some things that you can do? Can I reach out to a friend and combine my cardio with girl time and like just have some connection? What can you do that maybe doesn't add stress but recharges you in some of those areas of your life so that you can have a little bit more balance there?
And most likely sleep better as well as a
For
result of
sure.
that.
Yes.
Mm.
It's all related. So I'm going to talk about that. We'll kind of go through that a little bit. Can you guys see this
Yeah.
screen? Okay, so just talking about strategies to improve your sleep. So getting, especially right now, getting back into a consistent sleep schedule, right? The time has changed. We need to get into a new schedule as quickly as possible. And our internal clock loves predictability. So align your sleep patterns with it by sticking to a regular sleep and wake times. So just decide, what that is for you and stick to that as many days of the week as possible. The more sleep consistency you have, the better your body's going to feel. The more predictability there is there, right? You'll start to get tired at the same time every day. Your body will start to be energized at the same time every day when you wake up. Where if you're bouncing all over the place, it's really hard to feel good. It's like eating 2 meals one day and then like 6 meals the next day, right? Same thing with food. Like if you eat 4 meals every day, kind of around the same time, like your body starts to get kind of hungry during that time of day, and it's very predictable. Our bodies like that. We crave that. Same with sleep. You'll be able to sleep so much better if there's more predictability there. And then optimize your sleep environment. Transform your bedroom into a sleep sanctuary. So cool, dark, and quiet. Those three things are huge. Having like lights, like little lights on, eliminating those, getting it as dark as possible in your room, and cool is going to help a lot with not only falling asleep, but staying asleep at night. And then assess your mattress, your pillows, blackout curtains, maybe white noise machine. I love to have a fan on at night. That helps me sleep a lot, just having air moving through the room. Anything to add there for any of you?
Thinking like just quality of sleep would be like like keeping phones and Wi-Fi and like out of the room, or like Bluetooth, like having your
Yeah.
phone like here
Yeah.
with
I know that sounds, but there's radio frequencies happening. And so if we can get those out of our room, then that's going to help our sleep so much more. If we don't have that EMF exposure while we're sleeping and we're trying to restore, we get enough of that during the day. So it does sound like a little bit woo woo, I think, but I have my Wi-Fi router plugged into just like a timer. And so from 11 p.m., I think, until 4 a.m. or in that range, just when I know for sure everyone's going to be asleep to when everyone's waking up, I have it turned off at night. So that's turned off at night. My phone is never by my bed. It's always either in my kitchen or my bathroom. And so I don't have any of that in my room, potentially impacting my sleep. Anything else on that?
One thing I was going to add with sleep schedule that I know made a huge difference, because I was totally one like night owl, like my kids are asleep now, I just want like dead brain time, like not being
Yeah.
wanted time, and transforming that to, and especially learning more about the importance of how soon we go to sleep once the sun has gone down and the night is the night.
Mhm.
Because I wore a Whoop for a long time, like I probably had 3 years of history, and that was a huge changer in my HRV to go to bed sooner. Even if I
Oh
was, because I was
yeah.
like, I always get 7.5 hours. Even if I stay up till 11:30 or 12, I make sure I get my 7.5 hours. And going to bed sooner, like by 10, totally made a big difference with my recovery, with my quality of sleep, like just going to bed sooner. And it was a really hard habit to break because I loved staying up, but I love the morning even more than I did the night, because the night was just like not really productive. It was just like, I'm going to stay up because nobody needs me.
I
Yeah.
feel you.
And that's, I mean, that makes total sense because growth hormone is produced, right, at midnight. Like that's like pretty standard. It doesn't, it's, and so it's important to be asleep for like the 2 hours prior to that to optimize growth hormone production, which that's really important. That's going to impact how we feel. That's going to impact our ability to put on muscle. So that's so true. Like 7 hours of sleep, um, it's very
It's not
different.
all
Talking
equal.
very different. Yeah, they're not equal. 7 hours isn't equal. And the earlier you get to bed, the better you're gonna feel. And the better your body is going to respond because yeah, that growth hormone. And also I think is it delta waves? The delta waves are higher, I think, earlier in the night, which impacts our growth hormone and our deep sleep too. So everything, yeah, everything is related. And so I think the more closely we can align our sleep schedule with our body's natural circadian rhythm, the better we will be, because that's nature, right? That's what we're when we're meant to be asleep and for a reason. And then this is a big one. Most of the Hungry Fitness team and our clients have been using blue light blocking glasses for, I would say, at least 2 years now. I know those of us on the team have been using maybe longer, and I have noticed such a big difference. So our body produces melatonin at night, and that helps us get sleepy. That helps us fall asleep. It's very anti-inflammatory, or antioxidant. So melatonin is very, very important for sleep, but we want our body to produce the melatonin. We don't want to take melatonin. Those are not sixes. So to have that natural production of melatonin, our body needs to think it's nighttime, right? So if we are being exposed to artificial blue light, we're on our computer, we're on our phone, we're watching TV, then that blunts that melatonin production, and it's going to happen way later, and it's going to make it way harder for us to fall asleep. And if we blunt that melatonin production, then inverse to that is cortisol. We're going to feel worse in the morning because that's our cortisol is now going to be dysregulated, which is supposed to energize us in the morning. And so a simple, cheap solution for that is wearing blue light blocking glasses. I still really try to turn lights off or dim lights as soon as the sun has set, but I'll put my blue light blocking glasses on. I got mine off of Amazon. They're like $20 to $30. You want them to be orange tinted or they aren't actually blocking blue light. They're filtering and it's not really going to do much. So if it has that orange tint, then I think it blocks 97% of blue light. So at least doing a decent job of blocking blue light. And then you can, if you need to look at your phone or you're watching a show before bed, you're at least blocking most of that artificial blue light, which is going to allow your body to naturally produce melatonin. And so you'll fall asleep easier. And I have for sure felt the difference with that. Like if I which I wear my glasses every night. Now it's like a comfort thing. Even if we go to like a 9 p.m. basketball game for my boys, I will wear my glasses and be the nerdy person wearing my blue light blocking glasses because I know I can go home and go to bed, and it's not worth it to me to be under that artificial light at night. I wish I could have my boys wear them too when they're playing, but I'm at least helping myself out. So that helps a lot with your body just falling asleep so that you can be on that natural, your body's internal clock is optimized.
It
Anything
helps
to
the
add there?
quality. It's just they're just like it helps the quality of sleep
Yes.
when you, and I definitely have noticed a change as well of just becoming tired like quicker
Yeah.
earlier in the night when using them for sure.
Yeah,
I
I
think
used
it's
to be able to
probably,
read like
yeah,
hours, like past midnight. If I had a really good book, I could read it really, like I just wouldn't put it down and it would affect my sleep. It wasn't optimal. But now, even if I have a really great book, if I have my blue light blocking glasses on,
yeah.
like once it's 9:30, 10, I cannot stay awake. So it's pros and cons, but it's had to shift to like a noon reader. And then heat up to cool down. This one is really helpful too. So a warm bath or a hot shower, or we like to get in our sauna sometimes at night. That will heat up your body, and so then your internal temperature needs to compensate for that. And that will help your body drop its core temperature afterwards, which is going to signal to your body that it's time for sleep. And if you can be consistent with that, then it's like a baby, right? Like you give a baby a bath at night, they get sleepy. Same thing. If you have some of those same rituals that you do every night, then your body just knows, oh, I'm hot, I'm going to cool down, it's time for sleep, I'm sleepy. So having some of those rituals is not only going to help from a physiological standpoint, but like just from a mental standpoint too. And then get outside at sunrise, a morning walk, embracing natural light can help set your circadian rhythm straight and enhance your sleep quality at night. And that one is huge. I notice within usually a week, if I'm getting outside in the mornings, especially if I'm also getting outside at night, that my body very quickly will adjust to like sleep consistency, especially if I've been like traveling, coming back. If you do that, then your body knows like it's morning, it's evening, and so hormone production will follow. And then focus on movement. Regular physical activity boosts sleep quality. Just be sure to wind down several hours before bedtime. Yeah, I have a hard time falling asleep if I work out in the evenings. So I think trying to keep it like 4 hours before bedtime is a good rule of thumb. But earlier in the day is going to be optimal. I think for sleep it's actually like midday. So obviously work out when it's most convenient for you, but if you can bring it to earlier and not within a couple hours of bed, then that is going to help. Eat and drink mindfully. Evening caffeine intake or heavy meals can disrupt your sleep. Aim for lighter, earlier dinners and watch the bedtime snacks. That's also going to help with, blood sugar regulation too and insulin sensitivity. So keeping that in mind, especially like from a carb standpoint too, having that end of day meal be a little bit lower in carbohydrates too is going to help with insulin sensitivity as well as sleep. We don't really need a lot of carbohydrates right before we're about to go to sleep too. So having those maybe more around your training and during daylight. And then reduce stress wherever possible. We talked about that a little bit too. Like if you feel like your mind is racing and you're having a hard time going to sleep at night, like writing down those drains and charges. I even did a practice last year where I would just write down 3 things like every day before bed. I should probably do it again because it was very helpful, but 3 things that drained me or took my energy, and 3 things that charged me or gave me energy. And I would just write that down every day. And I noticed after a couple of months, like it was very easy to see common themes of, oh, this is consistently draining me, this conversation or this person or this activity or this work task. And then things that are giving me energy with all of, kind of the same categories. And I started to notice, oh, that keeps coming up. I should probably eliminate that, or I should figure out a way to resolve that so it's not a consistent thing for me. And it was really cool to just help me tune in a little bit more too to my sense of self and like my connection within, and that helped me be more decisive with what I was allowing and not allowing in my life. which helped a lot on stress. So I think that's a great activity too. If you feel like maybe you don't have very strong boundaries and you're kind of being pulled in a lot of directions and it's more than you can handle, keep a log of that and you'll start to notice some trends and can start setting those boundaries in a way that's going to support you. And so you can feel your best too. So sleep is important. And it's very important to our team. We've seen so many clients have huge success by just tackling their sleep schedule. It's kind of the root of everything health, which moves into aesthetics and performance. So it's not one to overlook, and you're not better if you can function on less sleep. It's important. So it's okay to make it a priority. And we're here to support you if you're having any sleep struggles. One thing that commonly comes up with clients for me, and I think other coaches, is maybe if like sleep is, you're going to bed, you're doing all the things, but your sleep is disrupted in the night. Like you find yourself waking up a lot, you're having a hard time getting restful sleep. Something that could be beneficial to add in would be, on the supplement side, would be magnesium glycinate. That's going to really support your central nervous system. And most of us are deficient in magnesium. We just don't eat enough greens to offset the stress we have in our daily lives. And so taking a magnesium supplement can be really helpful. And magnesium glycinate, to be specific. So if you're reading your label, making sure it's magnesium glycinate. And there is a brand that's on Amazon. 500 milligrams per day is the recommended daily allowance. But sometimes brands will do that in like 4 pills. And so we can look and send out a link. I have one that I really like that's just 1 pill. So I take that every day and that's great. And then another one too, electrolyte status. A lot of people will get up and pee like a lot throughout the night. And if that's you, if you're waking up to pee a lot, maybe add more electrolytes to your water. And that way your cells will be pulling in that water and you're not just drinking and peeing all night long. So that's something I've seen people see a benefit as well, increasing their electrolytes, and then they aren't waking up so much in the night to pee throughout the night. So those are kind of a couple common things we see, but hormones can impact sleep too. And so just let us know if you guys are having any sleep issues and you've tried everything on the list, and we're happy to troubleshoot with you and help support you in getting better sleep. So thank you for joining the call, and excited to see all of you next week. Anything to add? We're good?
No, we're good. That was really good.
Have a great Monday. Thanks for joining.
Bye.
Oh, and merch is coming Thursday for all Hungry Fitness members. You'll get an email at 6 p.m. And it will be password protected. We have a limited number because I just didn't know how many to order. So if you want something, get on there. And I'll be talking more on my stories about like size and fit and all of that for the hoodie, so you have a better idea there. But 6 p.m. Thursday, all Hungry Fitness clients and subscribers will get early access, and then it will go to the public at 10 a.m. on Friday. So just heads up on that if that's something that you want. And that's everything for this week. Excited to talk to you guys next week, and I hope you all have a fantastic week. Thanks for joining.
Bye.
Oh, the
Bye.
slides I showed, they're on the email. So if you get our weekly coaches corner, you'll get that email. And if you don't, shoot me a message and I'll forward the email to you, and then make sure to get on our email list because they come out every Sunday. Okay. Thanks everyone. Have a good week.